Still ahead, part two of our exclusive conversation with the parents of Trayvon Martin. Their fight for justice, their view on the local police, and why Trayvon was a hero to them. That's next. Welcome back to Politics Nation and our conversation with the parents of Trayvon Martin, Tracy Martin, and Sabrina Fulton, and attorney Benjamin Crump. Let me ask you, Attorney Crump, when you first came on, even before you came on with the father, when we first started getting this out nationally, you and I made a point of demanding for the family. You were saying that you wanted the 911 tapes released. And according to the Sanford Police Department, they said many times specific information is contained in those recordings that are vital to the integrity of the investigation. Should it be revealed, the information may compromise the integrity of the investigation prior to its completion. That's why they didn't release it.
Yes, sir.
But then they said that there wasn't probable cause and they had completed the investigation. So why were they holding these tapes so long?
Rev, it made no sense. We had to sue them to have the release of the 911 tapes. It's amazing what this family has to go through for simple justice.
They had to sue to get the 911
We had
tapes?
to sue to get the 911 tapes. They were not going to release those tapes until the end of the investigation, and we all know these investigations normally go for a year so they can sweep it under the rug. Now, what's telling, Chief Lee said when these tapes come out, it was going to help bolster Zimmerman's self-defense account. Everybody in America has heard these tapes. I don't see why it best boasted his.
Well, it showed he was pursuing Trayvon, that he was not being pursued. If anything, it did the opposite.
Yeah, and so I think that's why they didn't want to release these 911 tapes, because we could hear with our ears that child crying for help before that fatal shot.
Let me show this. Police chief said that they could not arrest Zimmerman until they had a probable cause. Listen to this.
Mr. Zimmerman has made the statement of self-defense. Until we can establish probable cause to dispute that, we don't have the grounds to arrest him.
Now, that's him last week. Probable cause, you have a dead young man, you have 911 tapes that say he was pursuing the man. He is not even an official watch patrol guy. He's not registered. What else do you need for probable cause?
Reverend, you have 3 independent witnesses who also came forward and said it was Trayvon Martin who was crying for help, not Zimmerman. These are 3 people who don't know this family at all. But when they came forward, Mary Kutcher, they attack her at credibility, and you're saying, but this is an independent witness. You just take their opinion, and that's enough for probable cause. Because based on what they said, Reverend Al, and we all just heard Bill Lee say, they had no evidence to contradict his self-defense claim. A 911 tape, 3 witnesses, a dead child with a bag of Skittles.
And we have no evidence to support his self-defense claim. In fact, the contrary.
He is the only person who has put forth the self-defense claim. And they say because he has a busted nose and blood on the back of his head, Mr. Martin said, and I wholeheartedly agree with it, that, well, he went and initiated the altercation. If they got in the altercation, he got a bloody nose, he still started it. So how, it's crazy for them to say, now he can shoot their son.
What kind of a young man was Trayvon? Now, we hear some things about Zimmerman, his father, saying what he's like. Tell the country, what type of person was your son?
Trayvon was a loving person. Trayvon liked to be around his family. Trayvon loved kids. Trayvon is an outdoor guy. He likes sports, football, basketball, baseball, skiing, horseback riding, anything outside he loves. But he's a fun-loving guy. He liked to listen to music, and he liked to just hang around and be with his family and be with his friends. And
he never got into any legal trouble. Unlike the guy that killed him, he was a good kid in terms of any encounters with the law.
Yeah, he's never been in trouble with the law. He's always had respect for the law. He's been around law authority all of his life. His grandfather was a police for 30 years. He respects the law.
Let me ask you this, and we talked obviously in private. There's been a lot of people that have come out now in support, from entertainers, the athletes, thousands upon thousands of people. Thousands will be with us tomorrow night. This is going to be a long battle, and we don't know how long, but we believe in our heart we can win. Tell the country, are you determined to hang in there no matter what till this is over?
Till the day I die. I'm a mother, and I want justice for my son, and I won't stop until I receive that.
Reverend Al, Trayvon was my hero. He saved my life. At 9 years old, Trayvon pulled me out of a burning fire, went back in the house, retrieved the cell phone, and called 911. If it hadn't been...
Your house was on fire?
Yes. If it hadn't been for 911, for Trayvon at 9 years old calling 911, I wouldn't be here today.
Now, I never knew this. So your house was on fire, you were trapped in, and Trayvon called 911 at 9 years old?
Trayvon pulled me out of the kitchen, out of the burning kitchen, went back in the house, retrieved the phone, came back out, called 911. I will not stop fighting for justice for Trayvon until I die. He gave his life, he almost gave his life for me. I won't stop until I get justice for him.
Attorney Crump, justice, what do we want?
We want him to be arrested, convicted for killing this child. They keep passing the buck, passing the buck, passing the buck from the police to the state attorney, now to the grand jury, and they hoping that it'll die down and they'll sweep it under the rug. I must tell you this, Reverend Sharpton. Consider this. Why was it so easy for the police to accept Zimmerman's version of what happened? His life wasn't that important for them to do a fair and thorough investigation. They didn't even do a background check on the shooter who had just shot this little black child in cold blood. They didn't do a drug and alcohol analysis. You have to ask yourself, unless we got people like you involved, how easy it would have been just to sweep this under the rug. His life doesn't matter.
Well, let me say, I know it's painful, it's a lot of moving around, but I wanted the country to see on the eve of this big rally tomorrow, hear from you, and know this is not anything but a determination for justice from the mother and father. And I commit we'll be there till we get justice. I just had a faith we can do it. And I appreciate and respect both of you.
Thank you, Reverend Al, for being there from the beginning.
Thank you. Tracy Martin, Sabrina Fulton, and Benjamin Crump, thank you for your time tonight. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we'll be there with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Coming up, a question of justice. We'll examine the conduct of the Sanford Police Department. Why did they handle the Trayvon Martin case this way? We must find out for justice to be served. Plus, we're learning much more about George Zimmerman, much more. Far from being squeaky clean, he had a record, and that record needs to be part of this story. Stay with us.